Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so did I have Demetra Sklavos Bakas on the line, and she's founder and managing director of Madison Street Search. Demetra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I am unbelievably excited for this and super honored.
First off, have to start by holding it up. Come on, the new book is out, and I'm so thrilled and happy to publish your work. I got to ask, so you're a new author. How do you feel?
I don't know. I feel like I have this new swag about myself. Honestly, no big deal. A published author. It's fine.
Oh, well, I see it. I see the swag. All right. Well, let's dive into the interview. So I'm excited to get into your writing today. Of course, want to learn more about Madison Street Search, your journey as an entrepreneur. We got a lot to cover today, but we'll start this episode the way that we start them all with our Mission Matters Minute. So Demetra, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Demetra, what mission matters to you?
So mine is kind of a multifaceted mission, I would say. My main mission in my career is to make career dreams come true. So I'm lucky to do that. And then on the flip side of that, I also feel like I have the opportunity to help inspire others. My life motto, and of course we'll dive into this too, regarding the book, is doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. And by following that mission, you'll get to where it is that you want to be.
It's awesome. All right. And again, great to have you on and to celebrate your release. So just to get us kicked off, let's start a little bit further back in the beginning. Like, where did this entrepreneurship when did you get into business? Like, how did that all begin?
Oh boy. Okay, about 10 years ago, straight out of college, my dream job was to be a bank fraud analyst at the FRB. I applied over 20 times. I got denied over 20 times and just couldn't really figure out why. Throughout my first year after college, I was a consultant for about a year, connected with a lot of different types of people and recruiters, in fact, to where I started becoming interested in their job, having no idea that was even a job itself, but kind of tripped, fell, planted into the recruiting business with a very naive and unexpected and unrealistic expectations. And so having worked at the largest global recruiting firm to a local one here in Chicago to ultimately launching my own firm, and the book kind of dabbles into it a little bit in how I kind of fell into it. And I think what has made me the most successful and what has literally brought me to being an entrepreneur today is because I learned to trust myself, my moral compass, and always leading with the mentality of do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons.
I think I find the recruiting industry and just the field really really and interesting. So I remember when I was a financial advisor in a previous career, had some good relationships with a couple of recruiters at the time. And I never really considered what they were doing, but they're, relationships I'd had over the course of years, really. And they'd followed me through my career and I've kind of risen in rankings and different things. And they just, ended up being some really good confidants and people to get advice from. So I just have a kind of an affinity for that career. But for those that maybe haven't had that type of relationship or don't even really know much about the industry itself, I guess I'd say as a career of going into it, obviously you found your space, you found your niche and you do great. What would you tell newbies, people that are considering a career change or maybe even haven't really considered this as a field? What would you tell them about why you find it rewarding?
And I actually get this asked a lot, and I appreciate that. The best way to get information is to reach out to a recruiter, right? And I would definitely say find someone that you can trust, that has your best interest in mind, that obviously you want to find a recruiter that's successful, right? To give you the right tips, because it's a sales, right? Industry in a sense. So lots of dog eat dog environments. So being aggressive, yet again, doing the right thing at the same time and being efficient in what you do is super important. So find someone who's in the industry, You reach out to me, find me on LinkedIn, wherever,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to have that conversation, right? So
Mm.
just getting the real deal about the industry, I
Yeah.
think is super important because to set your expectations. My first year or two in staffing was horrific, very hard. You saw a lot of things that maybe didn't align with your moral compass and
Yeah.
the way that you wanted to do business. And, we had metrics, for example, 250, 10, 10, 250 calls, dials, 10 hours of phone time, and 10 in-person meetings a week. And if you
Yeah.
didn't hit that, you would be fired on Friday.
Mm.
So the offset with that is that perhaps you're also motivating people to not necessarily do the right thing. What I was saying was, I think that perhaps that is why some people maybe don't have the right perception of recruiting, is because you just haven't had the right experience. So you'll know a good recruiter when you see one that has your best interest in mind. Ask the questions, make sure they're super transparent about it. And if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
I want to take that same kind of question or that same thought process and take it from maybe the candidate side of things. So we covered it from the side of somebody that's maybe looking to break into the industry. What about for a candidate? Like, as they're maybe they get that first call from a recruiter, they don't really know who it is or what it's about, and maybe they're being headhunted. What about that? Like, what are some things that candidates should be looking for when they're thinking about maybe taking that call or making a decision to work with a particular firm or recruiter?
Good question, actually. My number one thing I would say is find someone who can genuinely be your friend, right? Again, has your best interest in mind, can keep it real with you, give you true career advice. Every single person that I connect with, whether they're in the vertical of finance and accounting or not, I always say, I cannot place every single person that I talk to. But if I can point you in the right direction, if I can help you with your resume, if I can give you some genuine career advice, if I have a friend that works at XYZ company that you're interested in that can get you in as an internal referral, I'm happy, because your reputation supersedes you at all times. And so I definitely feel that, you'll know when you're talking to the right person, if you feel like just a number to them in their metrics, or if they are genuinely interested in you and genuinely, will take the time.
And so tell me a little bit more about your niche. So you did mention accounting or otherwise. So what does that mean?
So recruiters are typically specialized, or let me rephrase that. You should more than likely work with a recruiter that's specialized, because that is someone who is very deep and wide within the industry that you want to target. And finance and accounting encompasses everything from corporate accounting, financial reporting, tax, audit, dabbling in FP&A, M&A, any corporate accounting or corporate finance function across all industries. So Madison Street Search, in my entire career, I've been lucky enough to focus on what I believe is truly the best of the best across the US. So anything from Fortune 100, Fortune 500, all the way down to the hottest startups, pre-IPO, post-IPO, you name it, I'm involved in it. And again, just making career dreams come true every day.
Oh, that's fun. And I remember as well. So the particular, when I was, again, going back to when I was an advisor, I remember they had a niche, like they work with financial advisors. And I feel like from the company side of things, so we talked about somebody looking to break into the industry. We talked about a candidate from a company looking to hire a recruiter or recruiting firm. It seems to me like you'd want to go with niches or different specialties for particular roles or job. Am I off on that, or?
No, you're spot on, and again, same pattern here with candidate or someone looking to get into the industry or a company looking to hire a recruiter to help them staff their groups. Find someone that you can trust. Find someone who has your best interest in mind, that listens, that does the right thing at the right time for the right reasons, is super transparent. Just this week, I had one of my CFOs, he said, Demetra, I wish I was giving you the fee. And I said, it's okay. I appreciate that, right? But I wasn't the one to find you that top candidate in that search, but it's those relationships. He goes, you're always my first call. But again, I can't fill every single job that comes my way. If I did in the last 10 years, I'd be retired at 33 on my own private island. So,
oh my gosh.
not enough days, not enough hours, minutes in the day to do something like that. But it's just that relationship. It's that tangible thing. It's an unexplainable feeling. But again, you'll know when you feel it. And you want that. You don't want to feel like just a transaction. Nobody does.
And so tell me a little bit more about Madison Street Search. So we understand staffing firm, understand one of the specialties accounting, like tell us more.
So My firm specifically, we focus on direct hire placement. So these are long-standing relationships. Again, insurance is where it kind of started, but over the years have really spanned across all of the US. So East Coast to West Coast, we partner folks in the corporate accounting and finance world. Of the majority of our candidates are passive, right? So it's, hey, you and I, we're friends. And well, I call everyone my friend. You know, my entire all my LinkedIn connections are considered my friend just because that's how I truly treat my network. So we're always staying connected. Just this week, actually, I randomly saw a head of global tax opportunity, and I thought of one of my contacts, and I said, "Oh my God, I wonder if he's seen this or heard of it," and just kind of filtering and sharing that information throughout the network. Not to say that he's active in a search, because he's not, but it actually, we had a very deep conversation about, well, what's important to him? Is there something that his current employer can do to maintain, him as an employee, right? And continue to meet his career goals. And in fact, they do, right? And there's no reason for him to essentially have these conversations if there's something that can be done internally. And that's actually my number one piece of advice for people is maintain passive. So have your eyes and ears open. Find a recruiter that you can connect with, again, that knows you, what you want, your career goals, so that when something does come up, you hear from us.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, here you go. Do you want to see who's playing musical chairs in your network? Because I think you should.
And the idea of being passive versus active, I know it might seem obvious, but maybe explain that concept.
The people who I call active you could be in a holy crap moment of get me the hell out of here. It could be my company is moving locations. I cannot relocate my family right now. I need to get jumpstart into an active search. It could be company is, making changes. Positions are being eliminated, especially in this crazy job market that we're in today. That is someone who is active. They have applications out. Their resume is ready. The more passive candidate is someone who's doing their thing, not really paying attention, not on the job boards. They'll take calls from recruiters to just see, right? People get flooded with messages every day and calls from recruiters. Guess what? Those passive candidates are only typically answering their friend recruiters because they know that they truly have their best interests in mind. And so that's super attractive to our clients who know that. Because our clients are looking for very strategic hires. These companies want something very specific and very pedigree. That's typically why companies partner with solid recruiters who have very deep networks, are subject matter experts, and constantly and consistently, produce. And it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, I have the winning candidate, just like this past week, right? With my CFO, who I did not have the winning candidate, but I'm always on point. I will send one, and we know for damn sure that person's getting the job. Typically with my clients, if I'm sending them a candidate, they're interviewing them because they know they had to get through me before they're getting over there. And my candidates know that too. If I'm telling them about something, it's because I'm on point.
That's great because ultimately, and I've been in that passive side of things, and it was really great especially for executives that'll watch this and you're thinking about like, if you should be taking these calls, if you shouldn't, like if you have the right person, if you're working with it was awesome. I would get a call and I know pretty much what's going on in the landscape of my niche, my field, different markets. And I'm hearing it like real time from the individuals that have a pulse on what's actually happening because they know what's going on in the candidate side of things, and they also know what's going on the employer side of things or what companies are doing what. I like the way you said it. Who's playing musical chairs or what's going on, right?
It's just what we do.
And that type of information, it's just really invaluable because a lot of times, and what I'd found in my career, and I know some others that had kind of been the same boat, is that they hadn't always known what their value had been. Like maybe the market is rewarding your value as a contributor, like far outpaced to what you're currently doing. And you don't even know it because you're happy, you're doing well, you're doing good things. You're actively involved. The people that are actively involved, making big contributions to their companies, they're not necessarily always spending time to gauge, okay, do I have a better value elsewhere? Or is there something else interesting or a development or something else that I should know about, or maybe that I even want to be a part of, right?
Yeah. Looking for a job is a full-time job.
For sure.
The number of hours that a recruiter puts in, dating back to my initial years, those were 14-hour days. It's not something that can be done overnight, over the years. And again, what makes good recruiters successful is their networks. Your network pays it forward for you. Just this week, again, it's been a wild week and it's only Thursday, but one of my controllers who I've built her teams, her last like 3 companies, she called me and she said, "Oh my God, I just got this amazing opportunity. What do you think? Should I accept?" And I said, "Hell yeah, you should." It was phenomenal, and I love that because even though it wasn't me that got her that opportunity, like I was her call where she was so excited to tell me about her new, opportunity that she's about to take. So for me, that's so rewarding. And then on the flip side of that, she trusted me enough to give me and refer me someone who's going to generate me double the revenue, right? Just because she trusts me. She referred me a friend in the industry. And coincidentally, I have 3 senior level roles for her. So it's just like, and I talk about this in the book. I know it sounds like witchcrafty, weird, but when you like do the right thing and you have a very clear conscience and you're constantly like just doing good for yourself and you feel good about it, you take that pressure off of yourself to possibly do the wrong thing, right? Because the devil and the angel on our shoulders at times, especially in business and especially when it comes to money, it just falls into place. It really does. It's wild.
So circling back to the book, what kind of inspired your writing on this? Because I thought when I first read it and I'm thinking about, okay, do the right thing. Like it seems like, okay, we all want to do that, but what inspired that writing?
My life experience, my goal with this, when I was a pro, first of all, I thought you guys had the wrong Demetra. I was like, me? Are you sure? There another recruiter out there named Demetra in finance and accounting. I have yet to meet another one, but, just saying. And I think for me, when I was approached, I said, holy crap, okay, here we go. I have the opportunity to share my story. And what if I just inspire one person, right? That's all it takes. One, whether it's someone who has a brand new entrepreneurial idea that they want to launch, or it's someone who's struggling in the recruiting industry and is like, is this for me? What the hell did I do to myself? Or just someone else, right? Who's just an avid book reader. And you just never know the story that someone can learn from your experience. So I think the most exciting thing for me is the fact that, like, I was shocked that I'm even a part of the Mission Matters network and community, is I am like the most undercover person, right? Like I come from nothing, meaning I'm first generation immigrant family, the first one to have a bachelor's degree in my family. And I just, again, kind of fell into this business and I busted my butt to get to this screen right here. So it's not easy. You do not have to come, this isn't given on a silver platter. You have to maintain your integrity, right? Do the right thing and put in the work, right? There's so many distractions, especially in recruiting or any sales job or any entrepreneurial journey. You're going to meet people along the way. You're going to see people do really, really great things and they're going to inspire you. And then you're going to see people do really, really bad things that discourage you and say, well, I can't mirror that. I can't go and steal someone's commission in the system. I can't go and, tell someone they better take this job, or I'm going to tell every CFO in Chicago to make sure you don't get a job ever again, so just some wild, wild things. But again, just like when you have a good manager, it's going to teach you the things that you want to take away from them. Take note of the not so favorable things that go on around you and just say, okay, how can I make that better? Right? How can I make sure I don't make that same mistake?
So lots of change going on in the world right now. So we're recording this for everybody watching this in the future in 2022. So a lot of change, job place and otherwise, just in general. For those that are out there looking to get their footing in the job market with all this change, people moving different companies closing down, we're middle of recession. What kind of advice would you give them as they're kind of on their hunt?
Find the right recruiter. Go make a best friend. Go talk to someone. You may have to talk to many and tell them your story. See who's going to listen, who genuinely cares to help you make a career game plan. And, some of my favorite questions that I like to ask people is, what is your end career goal right before retirement? What is it that you want to reach? Is it CFO, CAO, controllership, manager, director level? Do you want to cross over from finance, accounting, or accounting to finance, tax, audit, you name it?
Yeah.
or eventually even start your own business. And from there, have someone along the way, right?
Mhm.
I have contacts who I have been on their career journey for literally the last 10 years. It is
Mm.
bomb.com. I see them on LinkedIn and
Isn't it
maybe
awesome to watch people progress though?
I'm like, I helped do that? Like,
Yes.
it's so cool. And it's just, I don't know. And then I think back to myself, like little older, I'm like, wait, I did that? Like, that is so, I inspire myself sometimes. I'm like, okay, got to
Oh
keep
my
grinding,
gosh. I
got to keep
love that you
going.
said that. I love that you said that because it's gratifying to see, especially in your business, to see like when I think about some of those early jobs, those early things, those early placements, and then to think, like you said, you've been on the career journey with somebody for 10 years, like not only the relationship and the friends you make, as you mentioned, but just to see their path and to see them grow. And maybe they started out when they were junior in their career. Now they're senior. Now they
Yeah.
have families. Now they're having all these other things
Yeah.
that they didn't have. They might have been their early 20s when you first placed them the first time. And then now, as they're looking to do different things, you get to be part of their goals and what happens
Yep.
next, right?
Yep. And I'm hiring their mini me's. I mean, that's
Yep.
like my favorite phone call, right? When it's like, holy crap, look at what I'm doing today. Thank you so much for being on this ride with
Mm.
me. Now, let me pay it forward and find me some mini me's,
Yeah.
So it's just so cool just to kind of see how things come first full circle. And again, that's what just keeps it going. That's what motivates me.
Yeah.
As cheesy as it sounds, it's just like you make it happen for people.
I get it. And I can think about like some of the guests that I've had on that we've been on this journey now. I mean, I think our first show maybe went out maybe like 5 years ago, going on 6 years now. And even within that, I'm not quite at 10 years of hosting the show yet, but even with that small span of time, like seeing like somebody that maybe came on when they were just a startup and just going live to then they come back on to do some other announcement, or they're doing something even bigger, or they changed, or they sold the company, they're doing something else. And you're like, wow, I remember the first time you were on the show, the first time we got to know this, and to follow the careers of all these entrepreneurs like yourself and to watch you continue to prosper and to grow and to do different things. It's fun. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I mean, you're stuck with me forever now. So, all right.
Happily. Well, hold on. We're in print. Hello. Bound by
Literally
print.
forever.
Oh, that's great. Have to say, it has been great having you on the show and catching up, and obviously going into your writing and Madison Street Search. If somebody's watching this and they want to learn more and they want to connect and talk to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably LinkedIn or the website. So www.madisonstreetsearch.com. And you can always find me on LinkedIn or even Facebook. There's Twitter and obviously the book, right?
Yeah.
So I think, again, my greatest form of appreciation is a referral, right? Again, that's like how I know, like, damn, I did a good job.
Yeah.
So it's even if someone is talking about the book, or I have a client who mentions a great experience, it's just, again, it all comes full circle. So I can't thank you guys enough for making this happen. And again, so honored to even be rubbing shoulders with everyone and my peer authors in the Mission Matters community. It's just insanity.
Oh, great times. Well, we're happy to have you. And and for the audience, we'll put all that information in the show notes so that you can just click on the link and connect with Demetra. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time listening to a Mission Matters episode or engaging with the platform in general, we're all about bringing on entrepreneurs, executives, and experts and having them share their experience, why they do what they do, how they're doing it, like their journey. What can we all learn and gain from that information? If that's the type of content that you're into or sounds interesting or exciting or fun, hit that subscribe button, because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Demetra, really, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait till the next time we get to work together. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.